Okay, guys. So this is very quick, very impromptu. If you are a first-time viewer, make sure you hit that little red subscribe button only if you want to see more videos from me and you enjoy this. And check me out on my Discord, my TikTok, and my Twitter as Dixie Cuddles Fitness, Instagram at Dixie Cuddles underscore fitness, and Facebook as Dixie's Warriors, Dixie Cuddles Fitness in parenthesis. I'm not expecting anyone to come into this because usually when I have live class, I don't do another live. But this is something I just wanted to do really quick. Hey, how's it going? Cody's Extreme Scene TV. Um, and it's just an expression. Have you heard the expression, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink? That's an old expression, and some people know the meaning of it, and then other people give you a look like, what are you talking about? So I thought for fun, I'm only going to be on for 5 minutes or less. I would come on and explain what that expression means and why it's still relevant to this day. Now, think about it. If you have a horse and you own a horse and that horse is thirsty or that horse is dehydrated, what do? You're going to take it by the rope if it doesn't seem like it wants to go on its own, and you're going to lead it to the water trough, right? What do you do when you get it to the water trough in the river, the lake, the ponds? You let go of the leash and you hope that that horse will start drinking because you know it's a hot day and that horse is probably tired and parched and it needs something to drink. But the thing is, you cannot force that horse to drink the water, correct? That horse has to want to drink the water. So no matter how thirsty that horse is, or how badly they need that item or need that for their health, you can't make them drink that water because the horse has to make that decision himself to drink that water. So thus, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. How does it apply in everyday life? Okay, you have a workmate, and that workmate seems like a really good person, but they have horrible work ethics. You talk to them to the blue in the face. You tell them you can't do this, you can't do that. And the team leads don't like it when you do this. Da, 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 da. This is how you need to do this. This is how you need to work. This is how things are supposed to be done. You can teach them, you can train them and turn them and train them and train them. And you could say the things repeatedly over and over and over and over again, show them repeatedly over and over and over again. But if they don't want to drink, they're not going to do. So, in other words, if they don't have good work ethics, they don't like to zone, they don't like to do returns, they don't like to help the other associates with the freight. What are they going to do? They're going to run to the bathroom and hide, and they're going to keep disappearing. They're going to play on their phone. They're going to stand there and watch you do the work and talk to you and not do anything. Or they're going to say, can you please do this for me? When a team lead asks them to do that item, they're going to come to you and say, hey, can you do this for me? When the team lead just finished asking them to do that and do that task or that project, instead of doing the task or project that they were asked to do, they don't do it. They're like the dumb horse that goes led to the water but doesn't drink. What happens to the horse? What happens to the horse if he doesn't drink that water, if he doesn't take care of himself? That horse is going to become so dehydrated that he's eventually going to die. It's the same in life. You can teach people and show people how to be better spiritual people. You can teach people and show people that they need to improve in this, or they need to stop doing this, or they need to do better in this. But unless that person wants it, they're not going to do it. Eventually, what's going to happen to that person with bad work ethics? Eventually, they're going to lose their job because they're not doing what they're asked to do. They're not being productive and they're not listening to the trainers. They're not listening to other work associates who's been there longer. They're not listening to the management team. Eventually, I've seen it time and time again, they lose their jobs. Eventually, that person who you're trying to get encouraged to eat healthier or to be healthier doesn't do it and continues shoveling in those donuts, shoveling in that sugar, shoveling in those carbs. Guess what they're going to do? They're eventually going to end up having high cholesterol, diabetes, being obese, everything else that's bad for them, unhealthy, heart attack, stroke, you name it, it's going to happen to them. Why? because you tried to lead them to that water and tell them you need to improve your health. You need to grow in this area. You need to be better in doing your work in this way or that way. But they're not doing it. So they're going to either lose their jobs or they're going to become very unhealthy. Okay. You don't know the meaning of it, but you're going to the water. I love that one. You're going to make sure you go to the water. Good for you. You're doing the right thing. And so it's the same thing with anybody in life. Because spiritually speaking, you notice that they're doing things in their life that later they're going to regret. You're trying to tell them in nice ways, through text message, in person, how posts, however you're doing it, that, hey, you need to improve in this area. And they're not doing it. It's not clicking. It's because it doesn't want to click. And they have to want it. You cannot force a horse to drink water unless he actually physically wants it. It's a built-in need for that horse to drink that water. But if he doesn't want to live, he doesn't want to survive, he's not going to drink that water. If they don't want to keep the job and they don't care about the job, they're not going to listen to you and do better with their work. They're not going to listen to you and do better with their spiritual life. They're not going to listen to you and do better with their physical or mental health. They're not going to listen. You know, if they're the type of person that fools around, plays around, does all kinds of weird stuff, try and encourage them to be a better person by things you say and do, remarks you make to them. You know, you need to learn to do this and da 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 da. Just treat da 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 this person better, or do this better, or do that better. If they don't want it, they don't want it. You are talking till you're blue in the face. You're leading that horse to the water, but they will refuse to drink that water. So that's what it means. So it means that you can only do so much for people. You can't force them. So you can lead a horse to water, but what? You cannot make them drink. So it's okay to encourage people, to be there for people, but don't spend all your time on that person or them people. Let it sink in, let them live the life, and let them see and stand back and go, maybe they were trying to teach me something and tell me something. Let them learn on their own, because once they really want it, and they really have that mindset, they want to do better, you'll start seeing changes in them and they will start improving and do better. And then eventually that horse will drink the water. So don't get discouraged if you're teaching, you're training, and you see somebody that's just not seeming to learn, not seeming to get what you're trying to get through to them. It's because at that time they're not ready for it. It's not because you're a bad person, and it's not because you're a bad trainer. It's because at that time that person is not ready to do that. They're not ready for it. But when they finally are ready for it, the horse will drink the water. And then you'll see a big change in them. And then you'll go, wow, it's finally clicking. They're getting it. They're doing something about it. But it doesn't. And sometimes those changes are slow. So when you start seeing those changes, make sure you say something to them. Commend them. Let them know you noticed that they've been improving in those areas. Because sometimes when it's subtle changes and they're starting to improve and work on it, they feel like nobody's paying attention to them. And then they sometimes, when they finally are that horse that's starting to drink that water, sometimes they can get discouraged if there's nobody there to say, hey, you did really good today. Or I noticed that you've been eating better. I noticed you lost a few pounds. I've noticed you were able to do more push-ups. You're able to hang in on that workout longer. I really liked, and like it was spiritual things, it was good to see you. I really like the comments you gave. I'm seeing improvements in your post, in your dress, in your this, in your that. Show them, tell them, pay attention. Then that horse will keep wanting to drink that water and make those improvements. Because once they get the mindset of wanting to do it, sometimes it gets discouraging for them if nobody is noticing that they're making those improvements. So just remember, don't ever beat yourself up if you see somebody and you're really wanting to help them and do everything you can to help that person, and that person seems to not budge or want to do it. It gets frustrating and discouraging for you. But You can't make a horse drink water. So you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make that horse drink the water. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. Okay, Cody. That's when you start out small and make small, subtle changes in the way you eat and how much you move. Basically, dieting and getting better health is eat more. I mean, is eat less, move more. Remember that bottle in your head. Eat less, move more. As long as you're doing that, even if it's like you normally take, just walk around your house and don't do much. Start doing laps around the outside of your house. Do 5 laps outside of your house. The next day, do 10 laps outside of your house. Your neighbors may think you're crazy because you're walking laps around your house, but guess what? You're exercising. That's burning calories. You are exercising. And if you're eating lower calorie food and less of it, and maybe even small portions every 2 hours, the weight will come off. You'll start feeling healthier. You'll start seeing your energy build up because of that walking around in circles. That's what my sister-in-law did. My sister-in-law went from a size 10 in clothing. Not my husband's, my brother's wife. And she just started speed walking. She walked every day. She walked around her neighborhood and speed walked. Just walked. That's all she did every day. Every day she just walked. That's the only thing kind of exercise she could do because of her health issues is walk. And ate less. Ate healthier foods. Ate less and healthier foods and sped walk. Next thing you know, she's found down from a size 10 to wearing a size 4. All because that's the only thing she did. So you can do it. Just subtle little changes. Cut out your pop. Cut out how much sugar you eat. Cut out how much bread and carbs you eat a day. Just little things like that. And you will notice, even just with that, you'll start losing weight. It's not rocket science. So you can do it. So you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. And I'm talking about not just health, I'm talking about mental, emotional, spiritual, physical. You see the way they're living their day-to-day life, and you're like, they're going to regret the way they're acting, the way they're living one of these days. But you know what? You can't make them change. You can say subtle things to them. You can show them by example, but until they are ready to do it themselves mentally, it's not going to work. But when it finally does, and you start noticing they're changing, make sure you're paying attention. You're telling them that because it'll make them feel good. Have a wonderful day. Whatever you do, keep moving, keep eating healthy, and don't ever give up. Don't forget to check me on my social media accounts that I mentioned at the beginning. And subscribe if you like this video. Share it with anyone else out there who doesn't know what the expression you can lead a horse to water and make them drink. Now make them drink, okay? Now they will understand the meaning behind it whenever they hear somebody make that remark. Bye, Cody. Thank you for coming in.